Hello, my dear. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. How are you today? I don't think I've done a reading for you before. I'd like to explain real quick kind of how this works. I see, hear, feel, sense, know. They talk to me, but they also show me pictures, and I call it spiritual charades. Try to describe the picture the best that I can. They never waste a message. There's always a reason for whatever they show or say. So if it doesn't make any sense now, just keep it in mind because you'll either see it later, remember it later, or somebody else will validate it for you later. Go, oh, I know what he's talking about. This is non-exact science. We communicate the best way we can. Sometimes you got to stretch it outside the box a little bit because they won't give me all the details. Details are none of my business. He should give me just, he's pushing on me. He should, he's pushing on me. Like, hey, 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 come on, shut up, hurry up. So anyway, details are none of my business. So he'll give me just enough so you should understand what he's talking about. He's so sweet. He's like, come on, I want to talk. Oh my gosh, I love you. I love you so. I'm. I don't want to say I'm getting chills, but it's close to chills. It's a different feeling. I don't know what it is. It's like just like he's overwhelmed with love for you. Oh my gosh, it feels so. I wish you could feel what I feel right now. Oh, makes me want to cry. He has so much love for you and respect. He said everything was perfect. Perfect. You made no wrong decisions. And if you're talking about, I don't know if this is the particular decision you're talking about, but he's talking about end of life decision. He says, perfect. Perfect. I didn't want to be here anymore. It was too frustrating being, I don't want to say in his condition. That's like just being, I don't know exactly how bad he was in the end, but he was ready. He was more than ready. He saw his mother before he left. And I don't know if he was in a nursing home, but if you talk to anybody, and I've got daughters that work in nursing homes, you talk to any of them, they will start talking about their loved one that has already passed before them, right before they pass. Or they'll talk about seeing them, or they'll be talking to them just as if they're standing there, even though they're already gone, because right before they leave, they see them because their loved one, I'm getting chills. Man, wow. And I don't usually get those, and not a lot, but it's kind of a confirmation for one thing. But like his mother was standing there by his bed talking to him. She was telling him it was time. It's it's time to go. I'm here when you're ready. And they come in to make them feel safe and loved and comfortable and to let them know that it is okay, that their loved ones, and they're going to be safe. He was filled with this overwhelming sense of peace when she was there. And he knew he was going to be safe and okay. And he was so ready to go. And if you hear about people, had near-death experience and they'll go, yeah, well, they got so far through the tunnel, they could see the light. I've never seen a tunnel, but that's what they see. And then they're told to come back. He was told to come on. It's time. You won't suffer anymore, is what she told him. And even if his suffering was maybe mentally because he couldn't do the things he used to do, and he was just tired, just ready. And he wants you to, he thinks you really need to know that. So even if that's not the decision you were talking about, he says the decisions that were made about his stuff that was left here, he wants you to know we don't give a shit about that stuff anymore once we leave. He said, I don't need that watch. I don't need that chair. It's just stuff. It's material stuff. And once we get to the other side, we realize that material stuff really doesn't mean shit. You could have the fanciest couch in the world and you have the fanciest house in the world, and it doesn't mean shit once you get on the other side. And that's what he's not exactly saying it that way, but that's what he's conveying to me. That it's just, he says, we put too much, what's the right word? I didn't hear it. He's showing me a star and a sun. We just put too much on the material things in life. He says, oh, he's hugging, oh, he's so sweet. He's hugging his mom. He says, this is what's important. This is what's important. It's the love. He says, I tried to do that while I was here, but now I realize I didn't do it enough, because it is all that is important is the love. He says the love for yourself and the love for your family. Those are part of the lessons we're supposed to be learning here, and then we turn around and do the material thing. Possessions. He says possession is 9/10 of the law. I don't know why he said that. Unless somebody's got something of his and somebody's wanting it. Them having it in their possession is 9/10 the law. He says, I could never be upset with you. You are a gentle, loving human being. Chip off the old block. You got a little fire in your soul, he says. And that's okay. Sometimes we need it. Okay, he's showing me that you are like, it's not a vacuum cleaner. Well, it could be a vacuum cleaner, but it's more like one of those things that doesn't even have a motor, that kind of, I don't even know how they work. These are actually, I don't think anybody does these anymore anyways. But you're pushing it across the rug. So it's like you're vacuuming, but he's not showing a real vacuum. So I don't know if he's showing something from way back in his day, or maybe something that he had in his house. Just keep that in mind. There's a reason. There's always a reason for whatever they show. He's probably trying to validate that it's him. I always ask them, please give me at least a couple things so they know for sure that they're talking to their loved one and we're not making this up. Anyway, he's showing me that you're doing that. Maybe you just did it, not sure what he's trying to validate with this, but anyway, he says, we spend too much hey, I like this because I don't like to tidy up. He says, we spend too much time tidying up, cleaning, thinking that that's more important than sitting down with a grandchild. Oh, I don't have time for you. I got to go wash dishes. That type of thing. Oh, I don't have time for you. I have to go vacuum the floor. He says you need to start making more time for those heartfelt decisions, the ones in your heart. Vacuuming isn't in your heart. Well, some people I know, I think that's all they think about. Sorry, that was personal. You are very precious to him. All right, I don't know if he smoked, but it's some kind of, that scared me, sorry. Cranson's dog barking at the cat. Melly quit. It's more like cigar smoke. It's It could be cigarette smoke, but it seems more like something. Could be pipe. I'm not seeing a pipe. It's more like cigar smoke. So you'll get a whiff of that every so often. You can be in the store, you can be outside, you can be sitting in your house. Doesn't matter where you're at. When you get that little whiff of that different smoke, that's him dropping in to say, I love you, I'm here. And make sure you acknowledge him, validate him. Let him know that you know that's him dropping in to say, I love you. And ask him to bring you more signs. Ask him. Sometimes they're afraid to because they're afraid they're going to scare you or you won't get it. But once he realizes that you understand that that's him popping in to say, I love you, and I promise you 1,000%, he can hear you, he can see you. Talk to him all you want to. Give him permission to come in and bring you signs. Sometimes they hang back, especially the older ones from the older generations. I've even had them come through and go, you can see me? You sure it's okay if we do this? You know, if I come through, I don't want to scare anybody. So tell him it's okay. If you want him to step through and just, leave you signs. And I'm not sure why, and I don't think I've ever seen this before, or they've never shown it before. There's angels, and people say they're too busy to talk to you. They have other things to do. I work with the archangels. They're multidimensional beings. It's something that we don't have a concept of. I still don't know. I work with them. There's an angel that stands in your living room. Very large, very bright. Why she's there, I don't know. I call them in and ask them to stand at 4 corners of my property, 4 corners of my house. I ask Archangel Michael to be behind me and have his wings touch my tips and his tips of his wings on my shoulders every single day, every morning. My friend said she even brushes her teeth and talks to him. He's always with her. So there's a reason. So if you have a belief in angels, if you don't, he wants you to have one. If you do, know that there's one standing in your presence. So if you all of a sudden feel an overwhelming sense of love, it will not only be him, but also this angel. He says you're divinely protected. Not that there's any danger coming. This is not a danger warning. Let's see if there's something else about this angel. And talk to the angel. I know it sounds weird. Don't care. That's the way it works. You don't have to talk out loud. You can talk telepathically. I've talked to a real live person back and forth telepathically before, right in front of me. They can hear you. Just all you gotta do is call on him. And don't be afraid to, because you're not bothering him. He wants you to know that. Some people think, oh, if you talk to him all the time, you're keeping them from doing something they need to do. You can't tie a rope on them. You can't force them to do anything, so they can come and go as they please. So you're not bothering him. He's just so sweet. I just want to give him a hug. I want a hug from him. He's so sweet. He's doing a tap dance. He says, look, I'm Fred Astaire. I don't know how old you are. I don't know if you know who Fred Astaire is. That shows how old I am. But he's doing it to show you that he's healthy. He can wiggle. He can move. He's agile. He says he's agile. Again, we don't take this heavy body with us. This is just our vehicle to walk around Earth in. Our spirit, our soul is inside of this. And this is just our vehicle to move around Earth with. And when we leave this heavy vehicle here, but it's still the same soul, the same spirit that goes up there. because you can't, it's energy. You can't stop energy. There's some quantum physics thing in there somewhere. I don't know about that kind of stuff. That's over my head. But he wants you to know this. He says, oh, he says sometimes you go to bed at night and right before you go to sleep, he's going to make me want to cry again. And you're like, he's showing like you have one tear that runs out. And right before you go to sleep, you go, I miss you, Dad. And he hears you. He wants you to know that he hears you. And he's showing you laying on your right side. Doesn't have to be this, just the way he's showing it, but sometimes it's exact, sometimes it's not. And like on your left shoulder, he kind of places his hand on your left shoulder as you're laying on your right side, getting ready to fall asleep. So no, if you feel a pressure, it'll probably, everybody feels the energy and stuff different. It'll probably be very slight, like somebody might lay a tea towel on there or something. It just usually is not a lot of pressure, but it'll probably be a warmth or a tingling there, or maybe something itching and you can't make it stop, because it could be like his energy. They usually make my head itch. Ooh, I should shut up because he's not making my head itch. When they get close to me, I start itching. And like I said, everybody feels it different, so not sure how you will feel that, but know when you feel that, that's your dad just stopping in to say, I know you miss me, and I still love you. And he's trying to reassure you that he's still there. They are there more than you know. But it also helps if you give him permission to step forward and be around you. He said, I am watching out for you. I have heard the angels. Not everybody that goes up there actually gets to hear the angels. They have let me hear them less than a handful of times. The music is something that you cannot describe. It's something totally different than what's down here. It's just mesmerizing. It's beautiful. He's gotten close enough that he's heard the angels. I just, what little bit they've shown me about up there, because they won't let me go very far. The higher your vibration, the more love you have in your heart, the more you've cleansed. And when we leave, we are cleansed. We're peeled like an onion. And they take all that heavy anger, resentment, any of those not dark, but heavy feelings that we have here, and they peel them off of us until we are pure love. That's our ultimate goal. And he said it didn't take him very much, so he must have been pretty close to it when he left. He said, yeah, he had a lot of regrets to get rid of, but they cleanse you and you're forgiven. There's no judgment. It's pure love. And his vibration is high enough that he's gotten close enough where he can hear the angel music. He says sometimes, not always. I love you so much. You were a bright spot in my life. And I miss you too. And now I'm getting a painful itch back here. So anything that happens to me during a reading is for you. So that was almost like a pin sticking me, but it was more of an itch, but it hurt, a hurt itch. So, and it may be in that exact spot. So no, if you get one of those, it's like, I know that's you, Dad. It's another sign from him. I know. I ask him for unique things, though, instead of just the feathers and the butterflies. You know, everybody knows about those. And if it hurts, because that one was almost hurting, I've had him come up, stick me like with a pin, trying to get my attention. You can say, hey, that hurts. You're doing it a little too strong. Sometimes they don't realize it. They don't want to hurt you. So just know that. With that, he's going to leave. I love you. And he still has his mom with him. He says, just trust and be reassured when it's your time that we will be there for you. Even if you didn't know his mom, know that both of them will be there. She's a very strong lady, very, very dominant is not the word I want to use. Because she's not like overbearing or anything. Just, that's not the right word. Anyway, they're leaving. He said, it's not your time. Don't get that idea. But we will be waiting for you. And I love you. And with that, he was kind of like, poof, gone. Much love to you, my dear. Thank you for being patient. I had so many things, setbacks there last month. Losing my voice for a week and getting behind and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, thank you so much for being patient. He's a very sweet man. Wanda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. Later.